Hey guys, it's Drac, and I'm excited to bring you this very early look at the N-Strike Elite Dual Strike. Now, I did get to look at this blaster in its prototype form and made a Nerf news video about that when I was up visiting Hasbro's offices, but this one's all mine, and I'm excited to not only do a full review of it in my regular space, but also to eventually take it apart and make a mod guide for it, which I will put in the description box below, because this is a pistol with some serious potential and power. Take that, alliteration. So, comes with 3 Mega Darts and 3 Elite Darts, which is of course what it chambers. There is a selector switch right here. Hopefully you can hear that, but the selector switch is very clicky, which is nice. I did not notice that in the prototype version. Priming is a very reasonable, comparable to like a Night Finder, or for you new nerfers, a Fire Strike draw length there, and then on the back, we have a very simple back. Dual Strike fires both Elite and Mega Darts for double the impact. So, let's take it out of the package. This is, of course, a Zombie Tool Silas. I get a lot of questions about that, despite the fact that I feel like it's obvious. Logos right there. So, Zombie Tool Silas, that is the crazy knife that you guys like teasing me about in the description box below. If you want me to do a full review of this, I have reviewed one of their swords before, and I would be happy to do a full review of the Silas. Just let me know. There we go, relinquished from its cardboard incarceration. So, I'll go ahead and try to gently remove this. Nice thing about the Silas is it has this choil for a little bit more control. So go ahead and set that there. What kind of instructions could this possibly have? Is it load, dart, selector, switch, and fire? It looks like it's that simple. So I am notably not seeing any range claims on this, which is interesting because logic would dictate that we'll start with the new darts that came with it. We have, what are these? W code elites. I don't think I've seen those before. It's interesting because any blaster that has the ability to fire Mega Darts from its plunger tube, but also fires Elite, should in theory either fire the Mega Darts very poorly or the Elite Darts very well. That's not magic, that's just physics. There's only so much power in the one plunger tube that this is utilizing. So we'll start with Elites. I guess the only other thing worth mentioning is that this is a very comfortable handle. The trigger well is roomy, and I like it. It's nice to see them going back to an old school N-Strike style handle, none of this nonsense modulus stuff with the skeleton grips, because I can't stand those. They're just not comfortable at all. So we'll start on Elite, we'll fire. Performance is a little subpar for an Elite blaster, which is surprising. That was a fine shot, but we're getting about 30 flat, which isn't exceptional. Now let's do the Mega. Mega is falling short. Wow. We'll try some angled shots now, but of course the blaster is performing marvelously in that the selector switch works very, very well, and the darts are flying. I have a few Koosh darts here, which is cool. Most people, or a lot of nerfers, are using Koosh darts nowadays, so that'll be interesting. We'll try some angled shots, but this feels like a much more powered down version than the prototype I got to play with. That's not relevant for the review necessarily, it's just interesting to me personally. So, firing Mega. Is there something wrong with my Mega? This will be the weakest of these. Angled shots are fine. That's kind of fascinating. Switching it back to Elite. Notable improvements, firing angled, getting much better ranges. I am not going to say that this is getting like standard Elite performance. Might be my model, might be my expectations, but I think that we're falling a little bit flat of the traditional 70-foot ranges, which is a guarantee, actually. I think that angled we're hitting about 45 tops with the Elites, and then the Mega performance is quite subpar for a Mega Blaster. So what is this blaster for? This blaster is probably for any scenario where you're doing LARPing or roleplay, to the extent that Megas do something special, but you also want to be able to fire the Elites that everybody else is shooting. A versatility in the platform like this is very, very cool and leads to just being an interesting thing that we haven't seen before. The color scheme is very basic. The design is simple, so it's excellent for modifications and paint jobs alike. I will be taking mine apart again and making a modification guide just as soon as my finals are finished, but I like this blaster from a design standpoint. I like the selector switch. I think that it's a real throwback to back when Nerf blasters were less tactical and more just like kind of wonky. It's not quite like Max Force 2112, but it's fun. It's a fun gimmick, and I like that this blaster does something unique and different, so I really like the design space of it. The performance is lacking, but luckily this is a channel where modifications run rampant and we come up with some cool stuff, so it'll be hitting where we need it to be very, very soon. If you guys like the Dual Strike or you want me to make a review on my knife, just leave me a comment in the description box below telling me what you like or don't like about this blaster, but I'm excited to bring you this review, and of course, as always, thank you very much for watching.